And happy Earth Month. We are back at the studio, and today we're going to focus on signature volunteer days because in Miami-Dade Parks, Earth Month is every day. But we've got Earth Day coming up April 22nd, and we have our experts here and, of course, our special host, Michael.
Hey, nice to be here. And hello, Lou. How are you?
I'm good. So my name is Stacy. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. All right. So tell us about Earth Day. What are some of the activities that are going to be going on?
So at a national level, April is Earth Month. But April 22nd, so save the date, April 22nd is the National Earth Day. But Miami-Dade Parks celebrates the Earth 24 hours a day. I could pretty much say that. And we have great events going on. But Stacy is here to share some of our signature volunteer days that are happening in April, really focusing on Earth Month. But I know we have signature days all throughout the year, right, Stacey?
Yep, definitely. So our signature service days is part of our PLACE program, which was our signature volunteer program at Parks. We have 4 quarterly events where we invite people of all ages, family members, youth, volunteers, to come out to really give back to their parks and really build community together. And of course, in a time during a pandemic, we can't necessarily do it all in one place. So this year's signature service events have been split up a little bit. So coming up, we have our Youth Service Earth Fest, which is happening this Saturday on April 17th. And for that event, we're actually asking folks to go to 3 different locations to really focus on the conservation and all of the different opportunities that we have at our parks.
So 3 different areas, they're set up all throughout the county.
Yeah.
And you say, here, go up to each of them so people can get a feel for it. Probably some near their homes and some a little bit farther away.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the pandemic and what it means, what it meant, and what it means for today and the months ahead.
So Miami-Dade County Parks has really been a solution to the pandemic because our parks are open air. As of last July, we were able to continue to offer services, small capacity, making sure we have social distancing and disinfecting our parks and equipment. But now we are so excited. So we are planning for a great summer camp opportunity. As you know, as of last Friday, we had our emergency order lifted. We still have some limitations. Our health is the priority, of course, but we are definitely seeing this new normal. But the beauty is that Miami-Dade County Parks have been that staple of sense of health and open spaces and open air during this time.
Now, Stacy, we know as we go about our lives, when we see grass and trees, it changes our persona and how we feel. Just like when you go into a skyscraper, you feel a different way. And when you're on the expressway, you feel a different way. So this is a good opportunity for people to go to areas that are very safe and to feel comforted. And in one small little way, make sure the ground is clean. Just take your shoes off and your socks and just stand there and feel what that is like to absorb nature.
And I have to say, Michael, I think that pandemic has allowed us to just slow down a little bit, really connect to nature. In my neighborhood, I saw a lot of families walking, just taking that extra time to walk around the parks, right? Or, they would station and plan their days to come visit the park. And then through Stacy's unit, our volunteer programs, we were able to work together to still offer volunteer programs at smaller capacity, trying to keep that sense of opportunities for our community. And we've done that even throughout the pandemic. But now with our signature volunteer days, you now get volunteer hours to join us. And I think we got April 17th, those 3 sites. But Parks is a great solution to so many challenges.
And Stacy, tell us some of the activities that might be happening over at Tropical Park.
So for our Youth Service Earth Fest, we are actually offering anything at Tropical Park. We have a couple of different locations, such as Crandon Park, which is a big favorite for everybody. We're going to be working on our butterfly pollinators over at Crandon Park's Nature Center. We're also going to be working on picking up marine debris, beach trash, anything that's been washed up on our shores.
That's a great thing to do. I know that one of the county's initiatives, thank you, Mayor and everybody, is getting these old boats out of the water. We've seen it up in North Bay Village, and they're paying a lot of attention to that. And certainly one of the things that most of us would like to see is those efforts in a video format or photograph saying, here's what we did, right? And when we see all these plastic bottles washing up on the shores to be able to go out there and help, all right, makes a big difference. So you mentioned about butterflies. Tell us about that.
So for our butterfly pollinator gardens, it's really an opportunity for us to build up our green spaces and bring back the critters and creatures that help beautify and build up the space itself. And we are actually doing a little bit of butterfly pollinators in other areas as well. So down south, for those folks who are in the Homestead area, we have our Costello Hammock location, and we're actually clearing out some of the growth that has happened all throughout the winter and spring to really allow the plants to restart again once fall begins. So it's cutting back a lot of stuff.
And what are some of the plants that people might want in their yard if they say, gee, let's do some butterfly things? Are you familiar with that?
I would direct this to Fanny. Do you know some native?
So we do have what are called native butterfly plants, and then we also have Florida-friendly plants as well. And UF-IFAS Extension has a wonderful resource where you could type in where you're located, and they'll give you a full listing depending on if you're in particular areas of the county. But I do have to say milkweed is always my go-to favorite, but it is very important that you select the native milkweed. But I know that that's available frequently, and it's not only a feeder plant, but it's also a host plant. So I really recommend that.
So part of it, when you take the kids who are this big or 6 foot tall kids, when you go out and you watch nature and you see the butterflies and you see them on the milkweeds and you see the caterpillars and you see them growing, it's really phenomenal to see that. And we happen to go and do that. We enjoy the whole cycle, and it just, your blood pressure just goes right back down. And to being part of giving to the environment by having those plants that'll work. And I think that's great. And thanks for doing that.
Yeah, pollinator gardens and parks are, in fact, Miami-Dade County has received several grants for parks for pollinators. And if you go to some of our parks, you'll see these wild growing areas that have also been strategically planted in this program called Parks for Pollinators, because we want to designate these green spaces for these little critters, not only butterflies. Notice that we call it pollinators because we also welcome the bees and the other insects, ladybugs, into the area as well. And I do want to mention, I want to invite you, Michael. We have a great traveling exhibit opening up this weekend, April 17th at Costello Hammock Park. And we're going to have the grand opening for the Miami Blue Butterfly Traveling Exhibit. Let me tell you, small but mighty butterfly. It's probably the size of a nickel, and it's in the brink of extinction. But through the University of Florida researchers, they're working in the Keys and trying to reestablish the population. So we have this great little traveling exhibit there at the Nature Center at Costello Hammock.
Where's that?
So that's part of near the Redlands area, and that is located at 22301 Southwest 162nd Avenue. In fact, it's happening the same day as Youth Service Earth Fest.
Yeah, so if you have volunteers, if you guys want to come out and participate at our parks, you can also stick around for the opening of the exhibit, which is incredible. And these tiny, mighty little butterflies are so cool to learn about.
The size of your thumbnail.
Yeah, the size of a nickel.
So tell us about the people that are volunteer. What do they look like?
So, I mean, for our parks, we bring in volunteers of all ages, all abilities. So if you are willing to give up a few of your hours in the morning, it's a great way to kick off the weekend and really celebrate Earth Month alongside your community. So again, if you have youth who need their volunteer service hours, come on out. If you are a family and you want to introduce your children to our various park greens and just introduce them to the idea of giving back to the community, we welcome, again, all ages, all families, all folks.
And a little bit of healthy exercise and feeling one with nature in the parks.
Yeah, you really get to absorb the sun.
So you come out for a volunteer day, and then you could spend the rest of your day there in the park. At Costello Hammock, we have these beautiful trails with incredible butterfly garden area.
And hummingbird bushes as well.
Galore, a great green space.
Can you see the hummingbirds?
You actually can, especially right now. That's actually one of the areas the volunteers at Costello.
How big are hummingbirds?
I mean, the hummingbirds, they're not that big. They're pretty small.
Little guys.
Yeah.
Anybody know how fast those wings flutter?
I don't know, but
really fast.
Really fast. At Costello Hammock, they also have are large areas that water at one point there was a water flow through that area, and it's created these rock formations that have caused solution holes. And so at Castello Hammock, you'll be able to see some of those solutions holes if you walk these natural trails.
And let's talk about some of the parks up at the north end. Tell us about some of the activities that have been going on.
So from our end, we have Arch Creek Nature Center, and this week we have a great toddler program taking place on April 15th. So bring your little ones prior to school age. So I believe it's up until 3 years old. You could bring them out to the trail, meet our naturalist. So Arch Creek Park has a great archaeology historical background. So there is a museum at that nature center with artifacts. There's also an archaeological dig that we are restoring out there as well, and they have a beautiful hardwood hammock. In fact, I just challenged that park manager. I think we have some champion trees in those trails. I mean, they have incredible large girth trees at that nature center. So we're calling out the experts to see if we have some champion trees out there at Arch Creek Park.
So let's talk about how people can go to the county website and find a park so they can see which one works for them.
Yeah.
Just tell us, Stacy.
So everything is online these days, and for us, that's no different. If you visit miamidade.gov/parks and tap Find Your Adventure right at the top of the screen, it'll take you to our new Park Link catalog. So not just volunteer opportunities across our entire county, but also camps you can sign up for. The Nature Walk at Arch Creek is on there, and there's thousands of different opportunities for our community members to really find out what's happening.
One of the great things that's occurring now for everybody that's been through the pandemic is you see that we're getting out on the other side, and people are really more enthusiastic than they've been in a year plus. And we know the sun is really starting to shine on all of us, and especially here in Dade County, where a huge percentage of people are lining up to get their vaccines. And we know that means a little bit more freedom just in time for the summer. And now we know the schools are offering, most of them are offering in-house graduations, which is a great thing. And so kids can stay here in Miami-Dade County, all right? They can go to the parks. They can pick a different park all the time and go around with their folks. Are there some parks where the kids can go and they can just hang out there for 4 or 5 hours?
They can. I mean, we have self-discoveries, and of course we have open spaces for those who really enjoy sports or flying a kite or learning how to ride a bike. I mean, parks are really accessible and available to all to either connect to nature or to find a sport or just read a book under a tree.
I keep referring to Tropical Park because it's around the corner from here. But when you look at all the activities that go on there in this huge area, they have, there's a track there, and they have the pavilions there, and they have places where you can go feed the ducks if you want, or you can just sit there and just sit by the lake, if you will, or just sit there and read a book. It's really places where we can go and just get really centered. So let's talk about out in West Kendall. What are some of the parks that are available?
So West Kendall, I have to tell you, one of the newest parks there with the nature-based playground is Camp Maracumbe. They have a beautiful nature play park there. In fact, on April 22nd, to celebrate Earth Month, we're going to host a cleanup in that area with our therapeutic recreation and inclusion team. But that park out in West Kendall is a really neat gem. It has great history with Pedro Pan out there as well. And there was a new park that was, and it's
Tree Island?
in my mind.
Is it Tree Island?
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy. The Tree Island Park. Michael, I tell you, it is such a beautiful addition to that West Kendall area.
And in case you haven't been out recently, there's the soccer park that's on 100 and, is it 27th?
27th, Kendall
27th.
Soccer Park.
It is great. They have all the kids playing, all right? And there's a wonderful walk around.
Beautiful walking trail.
Yes, and you can be there. You can yell and scream at all your in-laws or outlaws, and nobody will be there to hear you, all right? And it's wonderful, and benches along the way, and lots of people really enjoying good health and lots of activities.
And there's a great park improvement happening at that Kendall Soccer Park as well. We have the specialized turf fields that are out there, and I know that park is getting a park improvement. So you might see some construction, but play must go on those soccer fields.
Or else you can have that black and white ball sitting in your windshield. Let's talk about the Fruit and Spice Park. People can go out to the park. Tell us about what they could see there.
So also on Earth Day, on Thursday, April 22nd, we'll be inviting volunteers to come join us at Fruit and Spice. So it's a beautiful, it's at like 37 acres, and it's a botanic garden, and there's so many interesting fruit species out there that you can really get up and close with. So for our volunteers, we're asking for their help in really cleaning up the area. We haven't had volunteers there for a little bit. So really all hands on deck is helpful for us. We would love for volunteers to join us there.
It's so great to see that the county can provide this places for people to go and to feel good about themselves and do some work. So Zoo Miami, it is a park of sorts, a magnificent
and I'm glad you mentioned
asset.
Zoo Miami
Okay.
because they are having their Party for the Planet. That's happening April 17th through May 2nd. It's part and included in zoo admission. So you'll have a scavenger hunt that's taking place there at the zoo, but you do have to register for Party for the Planet happening at Zoo Miami. So that's a great experience there. You get to enjoy the wonders of the wild with the beautiful Zoo Miami exhibits. And then they've added these great little scavenger elements for their Party for the Planet. So make sure to register for Party for the Planet for Zoo Miami.
And lots of people sort of forget that our marinas that are down here are actually part of the park system. And I mentioned you before when I was out at Key Biscayne, on the way going out, there was a line headed back to get to the marina. That line, there were at least 100 people in the car. We went for dinner, lunch at the hotel. On the way back, there was still a line of maybe 20 or 30 people. So it really says a lot of people want to get out on their boats and enjoy the parks. Maybe the county put some more money into the marinas, all right?
Oh, we have great marina projects coming on board, but we also offer some great volunteer programs with our marinas and also kayak adventures. We do a critical splash cleanup out of Matheson and Pelican Harbor and Crandon Park as well. So we take care of our waterways as well. It's not just cleaning up parks.
And actually on ParkLink, starting at the end of April, we are introducing our new coastal cleanup series. So for I think 7 or 8 different of our coastal locations, volunteers can actually come to our marinas, to our harbors, and help us out because there's so much happening, and you've seen it, backed up lines. There's tons of people attending our parks, but we definitely could use those volunteer hands to really take care of them as well.
Do some of the parks also offer where you can rent canoes and go through the mangroves?
There are, yeah. I know for sure, like Fanny mentioned, for Critical Splash, which happens at Pelican Harbor, we do partner with organizations that do rent out, I think, kayaks and paddle boards and things of that nature, where you can utilize them either in your cleanup or for enjoyment.
When I was this big, I remember going on that canoe, and it's like it was yesterday. I'm there looking through the mangroves and doing that.
Yeah, it's such a unique experience.
I was looking for snakes to catch, by the way, even back then.
So I'm not sure if we have our park link that maybe Tommy could put up on the screen for you, because I really appreciate Stacy coming on with us today, because not only could you register for great events, we've got Daring. Daring is having a nature photography class happening this week as well on April 17th. And we've got these great signature events happening. We've got camps that we are planning. So make sure, there we go, to book your next adventure, of course, with Eco Adventures, but all of our programming, whether it's volunteer events, right there in the blue, you're going to see the park link and information. Create your account and stay connected with parks.
Let's talk about Endearing. They have photography.
Yep. So we have April 17th. Deering is hosting a photography class. There you must register. And they are also offering some pop-up coastal cleanups as well. That's happening through the entire month of April. You do have to register, but between the hours of 10 and 2, you can join our great folks at Daring Estate for coastal cleanups.
We were fortunate a few weeks ago to have Ron McGill from the zoo, the spokesman for Miami-Dade County, period. All right. And he talked about photography, and he takes some wonderful photographs. If you haven't seen them, you can look them up. He says, you never know when the shot's going to be there. So take a lot of them all the time, because you just never know when that moment is going to happen. So when they're down there doing the nature thing, you just never know what's there. And you never really know what's in the picture that you may find later. Oh, look at this was in the background, or look at this. Oh, I didn't realize there was a bird sitting there. So my advice to somebody who's been in this arena for a long time to take a lot of pictures, and not like the old days, we'd have to print out everything and be throwing away 2/3 of them. Now you just look at it and say, that's a great shot.
Yeah, and you have the digital photography that then you could post on social media, and it becomes a lifetime archive and sharing the great images that you're finding. And Parks has not beautiful landscape, but great wildlife as well. And I don't know about you, but it just feels like Ron is always at the right place at the right time, getting those incredible shots.
Yes.
But I do have to say, the community photographers that come out to Deering Estate, those sunrise, sunset photos that they're always posting is absolutely incredible. And then those delicate features that the Deering Estate offers, from the nature trails to the historic house. I unfortunately do not have an eye for photography, so I enjoy all the pictures that are taken. So sign up for April 17th at Deering Estate. They're having the photography
And
class.
for those amateur photographers or professional photographers, if you post on social media and tag us at Miami-Dade Parks, at Miami Eco Adventures, we will share your photos. We love seeing our community submissions. You might even see them in our monthly newsletter, Park Life.
There you go, guys. Your own PR firm right here.
There you go.
Let's talk about the golf courses, right? Down south, we've got this
Palmetto.
Where's another one?
So we have one in North Miami, which is at Reynolds Park. And then, of course, our signature golf course, which is Crandon. And we also have Briar Bay.
We have Briar Bay, and then there's one more that I'm forgetting the name of. Oh, goodness. No, we said Palmetto.
So how do you guys keep those golf courses so clean? Do you have volunteers that go out and do that?
We actually do. I'm glad you mentioned
there
it.
You go. It's wonderful.
We have an incredible volunteer team out there. They've actually been with us throughout, I think starting back in December or so, we started bringing them back out because it's really possible to volunteer as an individual over there. So you're not together with a lot of folks. You're just really helping us maintain our greens. So absolutely, if you have a passion for golf or for volunteering, but mostly golf, feel free to take a look at ParkLink, and there is a spectacular opportunity for you.
And Country Club of Miami.
Thank you. That's the last
serving Hialeah area and the Miami Gardens area. Beautiful golf course there. In fact, they also have a restaurant called The Club, which is fantastic as well because it's about lunchtime. So I always throw in a lunch plug in there. So
there's something about hanging out at the places that you like to go to, and maybe Tommy can help us out. What job did the Heat coach have before he became a coach?
Video. Shot on the court. Video.
He was doing videos at the Miami Heat. And he ultimately became the head coach of the Miami Heat because he was there, right? That all starts that whole process. So young volunteers, you be out there, and maybe you're going to catch the eye of somebody, say, hey, you over there, come over here for a minute, all right? You never know when that's going to happen, all right? And so the golf courses, that's a big business. People like doing it. Another place to feel at one with nature. And
it also allows them to also have a healthy lifestyle. I mean, I noticed that a lot of people during this pandemic, they weren't riding the golf carts. I mean, I know they were limited use, limited capacity. So a lot of them increased their pace of walking,
they got their steps
heart
in,
rate, right? They became their own caddy. So at our golf courses, they activated with taking more steps, walking from par to par. So it's, when we think of golf courses, we think of that, that tee time, but it really brings a lot of health benefits as well.
And can we talk about the system of pools throughout the county?
Our aquatic center.
Yes. Tell us about this.
Yes. So our aquatic center have been open at limited capacities. We also have family aquatic centers as well that have slides. Our Learn to Swim program. So we are reviewing our Learn to Swim program because drowning prevention is critical. In fact, for our summer camps, we have our aquatics team that test all the campers that come in to ensure that they know how to swim, what level they are at, and if they need additional pool time through our summer camps, they will receive that.
I wanted to share a swimming lesson that I took when I was a young person. It was with Boy Scouts. And they said, if you ever go in to rescue somebody, pull them by their legs in, because if you get up close to them, they're going to try to push you down. I can tell you, I was probably 13, 14 years old. Their bunch was fooling around on a canal. I pushed somebody in. She started to drown. I jumped in after her, And I immediately went like face to face, and then it clicked in, and she started pushing me down. And then in that 1 second, I said, no, I'm talking to myself, got to pull in from underneath. So that lesson saved for sure, I think, her and maybe
Oh, for
me.
sure.
All right. And you just never know when that's going to kick in. So you have lessons, right? And I think that it's essential for everybody to understand how to swim, because you never know when you're going to
And
need
sometimes
to do it.
it's not even just swimming, it's what I called water safety, right? Especially here in South Florida, we have our canal system, we have our oceans. So aside from just learn to swim, it's water safety, it's boat safety. It's so critical because just like you mentioned, Michael, those safety tips are so important, how to observe what's happening in and around the water. Right? I mean, even on a pool deck, and the program, our learn to swim programs, and water safety.
And what age group? Typically, what age group is that?
So I know that there's toddler courses that take place as well. I know that those start off at least at 18 months, if not earlier than that, actually. But for our learn to swim programs, and we are reviewing those programs right now to see if they're going to open for this year. They're school age kids, but they're family programs as well, because it's just not learn how to swim. It's also about water safety.
And that connection with the family. So parents, if you want to teach your kids how to fish, they need to know how to swim. Right?
Absolutely. That's a great tie.
Yes.
A great tie. And we do have fishing for beginners. We have that at Bill Sadowski.
Oh, come on.
Yes, I had to throw Bill Sadowski on there, the C100. Fishing for beginners, you could actually, that's another park site that you could rent kayaks on your own. They're there for you. So come see us at Bill Sadowski.
Okay. So do you have volunteers at the fishing places?
We sure do at Bill Sadowski.
Oh, no, come on.
You're making that time for us. You're making it easy, Michael.
On the first Saturday of every month, we actually bring volunteers to Bill Sadowski. So I believe I don't know if we're going to be doing May. There may be another event. But June, the first Saturday of the month, please join us at Bill Sadowski. You can find that on ParkLink as well.
It's amazing, all the activities, and we're glad to be part of sharing, this information with so many people. So what are some of the other things you think are going to be going on in June and July and August?
So, of course, summer camp. Right now, we are so excited that our capacities will be increasing for our camps. We offer general camps right now for $45, where registration is open online through ParkLink. $45, that includes a meal as well. So that's through our general camps. And then we also have our specialty camps. For example, Deering and Eco Adventures, we offer our nature-based camps. So you spend a lot of time outdoors learning about nature, resiliency, and how to be eco-heroes.
So what percentage of the parents drop off the kids, and how old are the kids, or did they stay with them?
Nope. So for all of our summer camps, it's a drop-off camp, and it's from
you hear that, parents? You can finally do that.
Yeah, let's make sure it's clear. It's a drop-off camp for ages 6 to 14, and it's throughout the county, from county line to county line. We have specialty camp. In fact, we have a golf camp. We have a fishing camp happening at Bill Sadowski, right? And then we have our girls empowerment GEM program at Women's Park. This is a park that really brings young girls together, and they learn about women's history, art, performance, in this beautiful park dedicated just to women. And that's right off of Flagler. So the GEM program.
It's clearly that is important for young women. And I know it's important to young boys, but for young women more, all right? Just my own.
I mean, and I'm just saying, I have my girls' night out once a month. So it began in summer camp in the GEM program, and we just grew up together, and we still hang out. Oh, it is critical. Us girls need to hang out, even at a park.
Yes. So tell us more about how somebody can become a volunteer.
So it's super simple. All it is taking a look online, seeing what works for you. So every volunteer's got a different interest. They've got a different passion. I guarantee we have a little bit of something for everybody. So even in the summertime, if you are on break and you're looking for some time to give back, we actually offer Summer Service Bash, which will be happening in July. That'll be over at Amelia, working on butterfly pollinator gardens again. So really a lot of opportunity for every kind of volunteer.
And we like butterflies, as you probably figured out. And maybe next time, the time after, we can get little clips of some of the parks, all right? And we can put them on. And we'll just need to have Tommy have them, if it'd be so nice to be able to put them together so we can show them.
Absolutely. So I'm going to bring a clip about marine debris, because you did mention that, so people could see the impact of the waterway pollution. And we also have the Miami Blue video, because come join us this Saturday to open up the exhibit. So we've got lots to do, Michael.
Okay, it's great. We got about a minute left. So one of the things I'd like you ladies to do is I'd like you to look into one of the cameras. Tommy, which one is it? The middle one? Right there? And talk to some 16-year-old young person about their future.
About their future.
About their future. What do they have to look forward to?
Well, you have spectacular opportunities, at least with Miami-Dade Parks, to really get out there, breathe in that fresh air, really absorb the nature that's speaking to you. And for those of you who are a fan of forest bathing, you can do that at Miami-Dade Parks. But most importantly, we'd love for you to come volunteer, spend some time with us. April 17th, we've got 3 locations, and they're all on ParkLink.
And remember, live a park life this April for month of celebrating Mother Earth. But with Miami-Dade Parks, find a park near you and stay connected to nature.
Wow, that's it. We're out of here.
It's a wrap.